we are going to it's Zara. What's up, motherfuckers? How are you? Something I'd like to share with you today is how to make a decision, how to make a choice, and the nuance, like the discernment of being open-minded, closed-minded, and how not having a process, a method for making choice can actually harm you in being open-minded. So the discernment of, I'm just keeping an open mind, I'm keeping my possibilities open, I'm not nailing down any outlook in the moment, actually could be someone avoiding trusting themselves and even trusting that they can navigate change in the future. So I'm going to get into why and what that is a little bit. So we're talking about making a choice, a process for making a decision, and it's important to be able to do that so that you can take in new information without feeling overwhelmed. You can share your perspective with others without feeling you're impeding on them or that they are judging or impeding on you. And let's see. So this can help your brain stay agile, help neural pathways stay in the process of cross connection and growth, and you're not getting stuck in a rut of one way to do things and one way to think. But at the same time, it's going to help your brain feel settled and calm when you do make a decision, and there's not all these other things bombarding it and bumping around and distracting you from actually taking action, right? Because the ultimate goal of making a choice, having a decision, is to then progress into the next step of taking action and creating something and having an impact in the world and yourself and your community and the people around you, and being a contribution. So I'm going to share some tools and resources you can use as a deepening practice for being not just okay, but being confident that you can make a decision, go through a process, and recognize like your nervous system along the way, the difference between fear and gut feeling and intuition, and how what seems like a narrowing focus to make a decision can actually be an opening experience for you. So the one main thing I like to play with my clients when introducing how to make a choice with ease is to remind them that their body holds a lot of wisdom, and their body is definitely giving input for when you're making considerations. So what does that look like? What can that look like? That can look like either tension and constriction in your body or expansiveness and lightness in your body. So notice how my body just opened up. My shoulders went back, my chest opened up when I was demonstrating that element. And so that's an expansive lightness feeling, not like beams of light, but like the opposite of heavy. And so the flip side of that, when your body is saying no thank you or hell no, is a constriction, a tightness. So shoulders usually roll forward. If your body speaks to you in this way, you might feel constriction in your solar plexus, in your chest, around your heart, in your stomach. You might have some random body part that like tickles or wiggles or twinges in a delightful way or an uncomfortable way to indicate lightness and expansiveness or heaviness and contraction. So like I know someone whose toe would tingle when it's like the body saying, yes, yes, you're on the right track. Continue on that line of thinking. Continue on that direction with your perspective. So you may already know what your body communication signal is for you, or you get to practice. So let's do a little practice session right now, an example. So notice what your body does, and your brain is going to have an opinion also, and your body is going to have its own opinion, but we call that wisdom. Brains have opinions, bodies have wisdom. And if you want to know more about that, ask me, but that could be a whole nother video. So notice the difference if you're following your brain's opinion or your body's wisdom. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I'll repeat them so you could check in with your body. So first, to get in a place to check in with your body, like get settled, be comfortable. If you're walking, that's fine. Just like be aware of how your body's moving. If you're sitting, notice what parts of your body are touching what you're sitting on. Take in a deep breath through your nose and out your nose. See if you could fill your tummy with air as you breathe. And notice if you could drop your shoulders, let your jaw loosen. So we're getting in like a regulated, relaxed state right now. You can close your eyes, or if you like them open, you could see pictures or no pictures with your eyes open. That's fine. You get to choose. So I'm going to ask 2 questions. And these are just supposes. We're not going to do any of them right now. So truth, would you like to drink some water? In general, do you like drinking water? Is water, okay, I'm going to rephrase. Is water refreshing for you? And I know this can be a hot topic because some people hate water, even though we know it's good for hydration. So our brain's opinion is like, it's good for hydration. Some part of you might say, I hate water. It's not fun to drink. So in this example, I'd like you to replace water with your favorite beverage to drink. So if that's a juice, a soda, a tea, an adult cocktail beverage, drink, whatever, water with lemon in it. So do you enjoy drinking your refreshing beverage? And like, duh, yes. Right? Is your brain's opinion, but check in with your body. Like, is it like, ooh, I do like that beverage? Is your body getting acknowledged for how it feels about that beverage? Okay. And now I'm going to ask the second question. Truth, would you enjoy drinking antifreeze? What happens to your body when I say that? The brain might be, what the fuck? Are you trying to kill me? But this is a specific example because usually your brain opinion and your body are going to come to the same conclusion of hell no. So this is your opportunity to differentiate. Your brain has the opinion, nope, because that's poison. And then what do you notice your body doing? Does it constrict? Does it tingle in a certain area? Do your shoulders come forward? And then compare that body sensation to what happened when I asked if you like to have your favorite beverage. So that's one set of data to start calibrating your body's communication with you as you practice making decisions this way. So I'm going to step it up and ask a different question, just in the realm of what you might usually be using this tool for, which is probably sometimes like more emotionally charged. And how do you get through those emotions to connect with the wisdom of your body and take into account like your opinion of your brain? Because the question I'm going to ask next might have more of a contrasting sensation, like your brain's opinion is like, of course I should do that, and your body is like, but I don't want to. Okay, so because I'm recording this in the holiday season at the end of the year, let's use that as an example. And I'm going to acknowledge that you might not have this choice specifically this year. I'm going to talk about being around family, and maybe your family is not available because you're in a different state or they've passed on to a different plane of existence. So you can substitute in friends or coworkers, or you can think back to when you did have access to being around family members. So my first question is, would you like to spend the holiday season with your family? And you can choose like a specific holiday date or like a visit anytime in the holiday window, and notice what comes up in your body. Would you like to spend a holiday season or day with your family? And I'm getting that there could be a lot of competing information coming at you. So this is great. We're going to start untangling what they are, because your body is going to share a truth, but if there's lies or unidentified, like unrecognized elements, then it's going to feel like this confusion. And so in general, when you've had trouble making choices before, that might be what the case was, is that there's confusion. You're not able to like give a definitive yes or no with the comfort of like absolutely 100%, because there's elements you haven't been able to untangle and recognize independently of all the other parts. And so I'm going to put a pin in that for a second. And side note, the capacity to hold more than one truth or more than one concept or more than one understanding at the same time is a skill set. And we're not really taught that. We're shown things in black and white, and we're actually discouraged from thinking that two things that are conflicting can be true, even though, yes, two things can be true. So I'm going to quickly do a demonstration of how two things can be true at the same time. This, what do you see? I think it's backwards, but this is the letter, not the number 9. But when I look at it from my side, it's the number 6. But if we're both standing here looking at this, we're going to disagree on what we're seeing because we're looking at it from different angles. So that's why I mentioned holding two truths at the same time is a skill set to be able to look at things from different angles. Isn't that a cool example? Okay, so being able to look at things at a different angle and hold two truths at the same time also helps you start untangling different thoughts and feelings and emotions and judgments and distractions that come up when you're navigating your way to making a choice, making a decision. So just a heads up that could happen. And the more fluidity and flexibility you have in seeing contrasting multiple truths at the same time, that's going to help you untangle these competing thoughts, some truths tied up with some lies, and give you clarity sooner, faster, and quicker. And yes, it's a muscle that you build up over time. So this is also something you can have as a deepening practice. How do I see multiple truths that might even conflict with each other at the same time? Because all of those reside in you. It's easy to imagine it between you and someone else, and that's why it's so confusing to make a choice yourself sometimes, because they also reside both sides within you. And that's due to your own internal true self, the true essence of you, what your innate thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are, and then what you've taken on as part of the conditioning of living in this world. Oh, so confusing. All right, so that was kind of an aside and a deep dive into one element. And let's get back to this process of making a decision and asking yourself, truth, would I like to spend a holiday season or day with a specific or group of family members? And noticing if part of you is like, hell yes, and part of you is hell no. That's the two truths happening simultaneously in your body. And you get to recognize both of those. And then you get to play with each one. So like, hell yes is like, why is that exciting and fun for you? What lights you up about family time? And even if you're imagining back to previous years when people were available, proximity wise and being alive wise, and then if it's a hell no, why? This is where it gets really rich. Is it because something happens that like you have fun and then something unfolds that you don't like? And then you get to take that to a deeper level and understand, is there a way to navigate that so you do feel supported and you can keep your nervous system regulated and you can have a boundary, you can have a plan if that starts unfolding and you know what to do. And that could help your body make a yes choice with those caveats in place and skill set, resource, tools ready to go if and when needed in that situation. And then the overall question of, would you like to spend time over the holiday with your family, could become a yes, because you have these support elements at the ready. Okay, so let's ask the opposite question. Would you like to not spend the holiday season or day with certain or all family members? And you could break these questions down into smaller direct bits. Like maybe you get a bigger hit of heaviness or lightness, expansiveness or constrictiveness if you just say a specific holiday with a specific person. So you can pause the video and play with that for a little bit if you like. And that's just really helping you untangle which elements are creating which response from the wisdom of your body. Okay, is this fun? Is this insightful? Is this helpful? So once you play with that and start calibrating the way your body speaks to you, the wisdom of your body, that really what we're talking about is the energetics of your body, what your body's aware of and how it communicates with you. And then you get to layer that in with what your brain has as an opinion, the energetics of your brain, and then overall, the energetics of your being, just your existence. Some people call that like more like soul or your higher true self, your higher self. This is the energetics of your being. That can all kind of come together as the umbrella of all these awarenesses that you're checking in on underneath this essence of you as a totality, the energetics of your being. So I just shared a whole shit ton of words and information and exercises with you. So go ahead and take a deep breath and check back in with yourself. Placing your hand on your collarbone, like if you can I get under here? Skin on skin is best, but if you're in a place you can't do that, just applying a little pressure here helps you regulate your nervous system a little bit and take all this information and awareness in a way that's supportive to you. So notice if you are posed with options or a question, or you're wanting to create something from scratch yourself, like you're going to create a situation, put yourself in a situation where you're making a choice or a decision, knowing you could check in with the wisdom of your body, the energetics of your body, and differentiate what is fear and worry coming from the lizard part of your brain, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn part of your brain, and even untangling that so you know you can recognize fear or fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses to things, but then understanding what drives that, and is there an element that you can introduce that would help you navigate that in a way where you can say yes to something and avoid the part that's a hell no for you? And when you know, so look how calmly I'm describing this. This is like the energy I feel when I use these tools, because I can digest everything in a way, process everything in a way that doesn't elevate like my nervous system dysregulation, and it adds to my nervous system regulation. Everything's doable, everything's navigatable, everything is welcome because I know how to interact with it in a way that's not frenetic. So I'm going to demonstrate what the opposite of that is. Because a lot of time when we're making a decision, we feel like there's a deadline. And did we even impose a deadline? Is there a fake imposed deadline? Do we just feel like we better get this off our plate and back to the other party's plate? We need to give them a response as soon as possible because, oh my God, then they're going to be wondering about us. Like, then we're worried about their judgments of us. And and this elevated dysregulation is happening. Okay, that was a little silly. I'm so glad I didn't actually feel that. But you know what I'm talking about, that energy when you're not just okay. Come back to centering again. The energy when you're not just considering the actual element for the yes or no, but when there's all these other conditioning voices or experiences, like you can't just make a decision. You have to make a decision in a timely way. You have to act as if it's urgent and important. Otherwise, you're insulting the other party waiting for your answer. And oh my gosh, I can't keep them waiting. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that pop through your head that are not part of just the elements up for choice and decision. Oh, okay. Those are all extra things, and that's why we go through this process of untangling it all. You absolutely get to take the time you require to make a choice. And if someone is imposing a window on you that doesn't allow you to do that, maybe that's part of the decision process. It's a no for me then. But I tell you, when you practice these tools, you'll be able to go through this process at a more rapid pace. You're going to be calibrated and have a deepened practice for how you notice things, the vocabulary of your body and your being and your brain. All those energetics will come together in a quicker way. So you will be able to make decisions in a quicker way. But maybe that doesn't happen at first, and maybe that's maybe saying no thank you to the urgency, like the false urgency imposed by someone else, is a no. Like, that's a no for you now. And then that's the determining factor in getting back to someone. Like, if you can't give me 3 days or 24 hours, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make a decision and share my choice with you. So sorry. So you could play with this. When you can choose that, choose it. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll stay with that frenetic energy. And, this is a process. I did not wake up. I did not learn this and wake up the next day and do it perfectly. And there's fluctuations, and sometimes I forget. So it's fine. However you start incorporating even a small element of this into your decision and choice-making process, brilliant, great. You're already creating new neural pathways in your brain when you do that. So, that's amazing. Good job. However you take this on is perfect for you. Whatever the timeline and the pace is perfect for you. Okay, so this is really fun. I hope you got some insight out of it and applied it to you. My biggest hope is you apply it to you in a way that works for you. You don't have to do things exactly how I say. You're going to have your own insight. So one little element is notice how when you are taking the time to check in with the energetics of your body, your being, and your brain, and you are navigating all of those lived experiences, the conditioning you've taken on that now you have to wade through and determine, is it yours or someone else's, and just the outside pressures and judgments, like all that stuff that's invisible to everybody else, and they wonder, like, why can't you just give me a quick yes or no? Now you can flip that over and understand how other people also might take a longer time than you expect. If you think something's an easy yes or no, they might be going through all this frenetic extra stuff to navigate in their brains with their lived experiences, and just how people's brains are designed in different ways. My brain is definitely neurodivergent, so a lot of my processing is unbelievable to other people when I try to explain it, but they don't even usually get curious of like why it's different or taking me a different amount of time or a different process than they anticipate for me versus them. So this is your invitation to give other people space to have their own process, because you definitely deserve to have your own process honored, respected, and even celebrated by you and others. I am celebrating you now. You are welcome to ask me questions and any clarification and share any of your own experience, I'd love to hear it. Mwah. I love you. Take care.